Evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to a webinar series in the Institute of Environmental Professionals, which we hold occasionally to commemorate international events. And today the webinar is all about celebrating World Habitat Day, which falls on the first Monday of every October. So welcome once again, and we really look forward to having an intriguing session with our resource persons. My duty this evening is to just welcome you all and to also introduce you to the Institute of Environmental Professionals, which is a professional body which is not very old. It was established very recently, and actually it became a legal entity only in 2020. Before that, it was a cabinet decision. It was instituted by a cabinet decision, and there was no institute for environmental professionals previously. So we are proud that we have now registered this institute, and it is now a legal entity boasting of about 250 members of good standing. We have a lot of other interested well-wishers and members who had registered with us, and we are looking forward to a membership drive really to bring in more members to our fold. Now, as you know, environment is a subject that cuts across a large arena. We have in our fold architects, engineers, scientists, and all kinds of disciplines, managers who work in the field of environment. And it's really nice to have this think tank in a time when sustainable development is paramount to our nation. Now, to our members who are logged in this evening, a warm welcome. We always love to interact with you, and we look forward to opportunities like this when we can, bring expertise available within our institute on different subject areas and discuss these so that we could have a better understanding of topical issues which are relevant to the country. So we are looking forward to having more interactive meetings. In fact, we are trying to organize a members' day later on towards this year or early next year before our annual general meeting, so that we could all meet together and meet each other, and not only just virtually but physically, and have a much more engaging sessions with the members that we have. We also have over 100 chartered environmental professionals in the Institute. We are very proud of these people because they are actually appointed after a very rigorous process of vetting, and there is a large number who apply for this, but not everybody gets it. And it is a professional status that is given to our corporate members, and they are entitled to use the abbreviation CENVP at the end of their names. So we have over 100 of them, and actually they are scattered all over, and they actually help to make the quality of service that the Institute offers of a much higher standard. So to anyone, chartered environmental professionals out there who have registered, who have logged into this seminar, warm welcome to you too. And of course, to our friends and well-wishers who have logged in, I also like to extend my warmest greetings and hope that this evening's session will be of great use to you. And now I don't want to take too much of your time because it is late evening, and I know that everybody wants to get into their families and enjoy the evening together. So I would like to now call upon our moderator, Mr. Janaka Vijayasekara, who is a part of our academic and examination standing committee of the Institute, to function as the moderator for this evening session and take this event forward. So it's over to you, Janaka, to move on with the program.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. So good evening, everybody. I would like to welcome you all to the Institute of Environmental Professionals Sri Lanka's commemoration of World Habitat Day 2023. Actually, the goal of our webinar series is to talk about global environmental concerns and start a conversation about how they really impact on our society. So first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction to this World Habitat Day. In 1985, the United Nations designated the first Monday of October every year as a World Habitat Day. The idea is to reflect on the state of our town and cities and the basic right of all to adequate shelter. It is also intended to remind the world of its collective responsibility for the future of the human habitat. As a Sri Lankan, that Habitat Day is important to all Sri Lankans. In 1987, Sri Lanka was recognized for its role in initiating the Millennium Housing Project's Shelter for All. These are targets through the Udagam concept. It's a housing development project those days. So here in 2023, the topic theme is resilient urban economies, cities as a drivers of growth and recovery. As you all know, as you all well aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a detrimental influence on the global economy. The goal of this year World Habitat Day is to spark discussion among many group of stakeholders on how to recover from the aforementioned negative consequences, with cities taken as a starting point. So in last year, ongoing year 2023, considering last 2 decades, the global economic growth itself is declined to about 2.5%. So this is one of the worst case that we are experiencing. In addition to that, now we are having some experience, the current conflict situation visible from Crimea or the Tel Aviv or the Palestine, wherever, could worsen the prevailing negative economic impact and lead to a global food and energy crisis. Under this circumstance, cities are vulnerable for more critical situations. The consequences of worsening weather conditions as a result of climate change may also generate additional burdens. Our primary goal should be to overcome negative consequences and ensure wealth of the nations. Cities are the engine that generate the value that drives economic recovery. We need cities that can absorb, recover from, and prepare for future economic shocks in order for this economic growth and recovery to be sustainable. To discuss this broad topic, discuss this broad area, we have invited 2 distinguished professionals, Professor Hemanti Ranasinghe and Senior Town Planner Indu Veerasuri. So first of all, I would like to invite Ms. Indu Veerasuri to deliver her speech. First of all, I would like to give some brief introduction about Ms. Veerasuri. She's an expert in the field of urban development, specializing in urban and regional planning, urban governance and local government stakeholder consultation and resettlement. During her extensive national career, she has held many high-ranking positions in the field of urban development. Her last national position was as a Deputy Director General Planning of the Urban Development Authority, Sri Lanka. After UDA, she has joined with UN Habitat as a project manager and has overseen the development of this unit and rollout of the Resilient City program across the country. As a visiting lecturer and as a town planner, she's playing a significant role. And at present, Ms. Veerasuri is a chartered town planner with 28 years of experience with the Urban Development Authority and fellow member of the Institute of Town Planners Sri Lanka. She was the past president of the Institute of Town Planners Sri Lanka and chairman of the Board of Education. She's current vice president, Southwest Asia of the Commonwealth Association of Planners. Mrs. Veerasuri, over to you.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Janaka, for your generous introduction. Dear President and members of the Executive Council of IEPSL, distinguished members of the IEPSL, ladies and gentlemen, and dear colleagues. Thank you very much, Professor Hemanthi Ranasinghe. I would like to, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Hemanthi Ranasinghe and organizing committee inviting me to attend this webinar. I'm very pleased to be here with you today to discuss about the theme of Habitat Day of this year, that is resilient urban economics. As Mr. Janaka mentioned, and every year, World Habitat Day is celebrated on first Monday of the month of October. This year, it falls on 2nd October. The theme on that year, we started in 1980s, and the theme of the first year, shelter is my right. And starting from that topic and the theme, and it developed into the, especially the urbanization and housing. And this year, for this year, and we are going to talk about the resilient economy. And we all are familiar with the unprecedented multiple global crises, as well as the crisis faced as Sri Lankan last couple of years. The crisis has had devastating impacts on people's standard of living and accepting heavy toll on the poor and vulnerable and jeopardizing Sri Lankan past development gains. But today, we can see how people of Sri Lanka have demonstrated incredible resilience in the face of these extraordinary challenges with confidence. There are so many reasons for it. I will start my presentation saying that city is a dynamic entity. City is an organic entity. It has enough powers to influence to the local, regional, and global economy if you manage city in a way. Please allow me to share my presentation with you. Can you see the screen? Mr. Janaka?
We can see it, Indu. We can see.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Given time for me is 20 minutes. Therefore, without taking your valuable time, directly I will discuss about the given topic. Having said that, I would like to give a brief idea about the gravity of the global economic crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a truly global economic crisis. Over 1,430 cities in 2010 countries affected by COVID-19. Over 95 total cases in urban areas. It is not exceptional for Sri Lanka because most of the cities are located along the coastal belt and hilly countries. You can well remember, starting from 1920 and the 20, and most of our cities were in this situation. And when you talk about the when we talk about the economic crisis, and you can give the keywords, debts, and the gross domestic product, decreasing of the house income, and the income of the country, so many issues. And the 2023 has been particularly challenging year for our urban economy. We felt it. We knew that. And the global economic growth itself is declining about the 2.5%. And apart from the initial COVID-19 crisis in 2020 and the global financial crisis in 2009, when we compare this one, but this today's situation, that's the weakest growth experienced since 2001. We can see the gravity of the issue. When we talk about the second wave of the COVID-19, and the Sri Lanka has experienced, especially the cities, urban centers have become the hotspot of vulnerability. Especially places like Colombo, Galle, and when we talk about the district capital and the provincial capital, and the record of the COVID, the pandemic situation was very, very high. But today, with their relatively favorable economic condition and the extensive transport network, and the cities attract migrants from rural areas, frequently resulting in overcrowding and greater vulnerability to external shock, such as COVID. And earlier also we have though we do not have the enough record to say this is due to the climate-induced displacement, people came to cities seeking job opportunities, seeking good education, to get the education and to have the proper lifestyle. Yeah, so many things. We can see the way of developing condominium and the way of developing slum and shanties, entry point of the town, the situation of this one. And vulnerable situation and the vulnerable pockets were increasing, but at a decreasing rate. And the Urban Development Authority, I noticed that recently they have done a survey, and they mentioned that, especially Colombo City, underserved settlement is more than 50% of the population. And then we can understand, we can see entry point of down south, Velavatta, and the coming from Paligoda side, Kalanipalama, and the surrounding area. Again, coming from the low-line road, Ranagalawara and the Banatapura, Rajagiri, that area, and through the high-level road, Kirulapana, Velavatta, that particular area. The way of developing shanties, and especially the shanties, in inhabitable places. That is the sad part of that one. Therefore, very easily, and just like COVID or any other diseases, you can have the very rapidly increases within that area. In fact, over 95% of the total the reported COVID-19 cases worldwide are urban areas. You can remember our neighboring country, India, the situation was very bad. Delhi, metropolitan area, and Madras, and the Bombay, as well as the other countries like China, the most of the areas are urban areas. Considering this situation, I think the global community get together and just they introduce so many new agenda for us. How to manage with urbanization and this type of crisis. As a result, you can remember introduction of new urban agenda, ANU, then SDG, rather than earlier, because you can well remember we discussed about the Millennium Goal. After that, the same global community get together and just they check whether we can achieve this Millennium Goal or we want to add some more inputs that one. As a result, SDG and the new urban agenda came into the day. Hence, when we examine this one, strengthening resilience of cities is very, very important. It will to the resilient economies. Hope you can remember, and the UN Habitat in 2018, and they published a document called State of Sri Lankan Cities. And they get they selected Colombo and the other provincial capital. From southern province Call, all the provincial capital, and the northern Jaffna, and the Sabaragamo Ratnapura, like that. According to the State of Sri Lankan Cities, 80% of the global GDP is created by cities. In Sri Lanka, when you just examine the other cities and the provincial capital and the district capital, but Western region as the megapolis and the other provincial capital account for 71% of GDP. What it says, and the city play a vital role, not only local economy, regional economy, as well as the global economy. If you have the strong city, it will contribute to the region. If you have the very sound regional economy, it will lead to the other sectors. Yeah, it's just like a trickle down in. Actually, this situation, when you examine this situation and the economic crisis and COVID-19, these are not exceptional for Sri Lanka. Cities play a critical role in driving economic growth and facilitating recovery in various ways. Actually, cities intend as dense and mixed form of urban living, organizing agglomeration of economic. Give me 1 minute, please. Yeah, Professor. Are presented as the solutions to many of contemporary socio-ecological problems. Now we'll see at what is actual resilient urban economy is. Can we have the resilient economy without improving social resilience in cities, disaster resilience in cities, and environmental resilience? Resilient urban economics are not only about financing growth and competing to be at the top. It's also about nurturing the human spirit, embracing innovation, putting technology to serve human needs, and creative, inclusive societies. I would like to stress 2 words here. Serve human needs and creative, inclusive societies. We can't reach, we can't achieve without improving social resilience in cities. We are doing all kinds of planning, improving the economy. What for? For people, for future. Therefore, before talking about the resilient urban economies, I think we have to think about how we can improve social resilience, disaster resilience, and environmental resilience. As I started my presentation saying that city is a dynamic and organic entity. City has an identity. City has an image. City has a unique characteristic. City has a form. City has a shape, texture, and origin, and its own evolution. Think about Colombo, starting from and the reclaiming land. And Patrick Geddes came to Sri Lanka and start. And the developer see the nice development plan for Colombo City. But he didn't touch, he didn't change shape, form, and he added new things to the origin. Therefore, when we are talking about the disaster resilient economy, then when we think about the cities as drive and the engine of the economy, first you have to understand we have to understand the situation of cities. City has very dense places and it has limited natural resources, but so many potential. Think about our existing cities. Cities are equipped with so much of resources, natural as well as the developed. And they still will have the untapped resources with us. So many untapped resources. Just if you take Jaffna, it is completely different from gold. And the Ratnapura has a unique characteristic. Take Kurunegal. It has so much of resources. You can't compare that one with Trincomalee. City offer opportunities. Always create a favorable climate for investment. To have the favorable climate for investment, what we need? We need physical infrastructure, social infrastructure, as well as the skilled labor. And the leadership, will, and commitment. All these scholars and the global community, and they introduce city as the center for innovation. Now we are in the fourth IR. Yeah, we all are in the fourth IR, Industrial Revolution. Revolution also talk about automation, innovation, and the artificial intelligence. So many things where we can see them. In cities, city has a functionality. City has a efficiency. But you can have this efficiency and the functionality if you improve the social resilience of the people. If you take the cities in Sri Lanka, as well as the other countries, especially in Sri Lanka, if you take the 8-9 provincial capital, you can see the landscape, land uses, diverse of community, multicultural society. As I informed earlier, city is a center. It is a dynamic and organic entity. Definitely, if you study the cities, if you provide the necessary direction, if you provide the necessary commitment and the will, cities can contribute a lot to have the resilience economy. City has entry point. As I said earlier, it has vulnerable pocket too. If you take Colombo itself, you can see one side, you have the underserved settlement. Other side, you can have the full of wetlands, marshes. When you go to the Mena, half of the area is full with seagrass, sand dunes. so much of the water resources. But here and there, you can find some vulnerable pockets. What I want to say, we have to go this journey with these people. We are planning for people. We are planning for future. If you are going to do something, therefore, it is very, very essential to work with people, to listen to the people, and get the community involvement and their aspiration, to consider their aspiration and demand. Cities are often hubs of innovation, as I said earlier. Due to this innovation, you can see new productivity and the new industries, different types of service sectors, as well as the cultural exchange with other part of the countries, the rest of the world. And the cities make them essential engine for local, regional, and national economies. Actually, cities are currently experiencing and identifying action that cities can take to boost economic recovery. Now, just very quickly, because I have the 20 minutes, therefore, directly now I go to talk about how cities can contribute to growth and recovery. If you talk about the economic activity, actually cities are centers of economic activity with concentration of business, industries, and jobs. They attract a skilled workforce and provide proper opportunities for entrepreneurship that lead to increased economic output. And the second second factor I'm going to discuss with you, innovation and research and entrepreneurship. And the innovation, city can contribute to have the resilient economy if they equip with national collaborative and network research and development. Today, under our national universities and the private university, they do so much of research studies, evidence-based studies. But there is no so far any mechanism to use that finding, to use that facts, and to use that information. Other government agencies and the national level, subnational level, as well as the local level. Many cities actually host universities and the research institution and the technological hubs fostering innovation and knowledge creation. This innovation can lead to the development of, as I said, new sectors, especially the service sectors. Other main component is the infrastructure development. Urban areas often receive significant infrastructure investment, as you are well aware, including transportation network, utilities, amenities, facilities, and some public services. The investments are coming to the cities. They can improve if we have the proper infrastructure, especially economic infrastructure. And this investment not only improve the quality of life for residents, but also stimulate economic growth by creating jobs and enhancing productivity of the cities. And when you talk about the human capital, cities attract a diverse and highly educated population, creating a talent pool. Think tank. So many skilled labor, scholars. This creating a talent pool that fosters innovation and drives economic growth. The concentration of skilled workers in cities lead to higher productivity and competitiveness, and the competitiveness lead to a new job opportunities as well as the new income. When we talk about the sustainability and the green growth, that is another part of the city contribution. And the cities are leading effort to promote sustainability and the green growth. Investment in renewable energy, public transport, and the environment-friendly policies contribute to long-term economic growth while mitigating environmental impacts. And the city can contribute to emerge or to develop entrepreneurship and the startup activities, and often the foster a culture of entrepreneurship and the support startup, access to capital and mentors, and a network of like-minded individuals. They can accelerate the business creation and the growth. That is the way city acts. The city has a lot of global connectivity, connected with global market through airports, seaport, and through the digital infrastructure. And today, and when you just examine other countries, you can see how they develop their exchange program, embracing some sister city program. That is the another one. Already Gold City, because it has the sister, it is the program with the Wilson City in Netherlands. And not only gold and this type of exchange program, we can develop and we can contribute, taking knowledge and the know-how and some other funding sources. And when we talk about the spillover and the proximity to the cities facilitates the exchange of ideas and knowledge between individual and organization. When you just consider places like Bangkok, being like UK, and most of the research and the universities are concentrated in the central business area. Take Colombo, that's also same. And the proximity to the city's facilities, the exchange of ideas of knowledge between and the individual and organization we can improve. This is surely this idea to knowledge is spillover, which can result in the cross-fertilization of ideas and the development of new business and industries. Then when we talk about the social service support, that is like healthcare, especially education and the social welfare program. These services also can help individuals and families navigate economic hardship and recover from setback. Then I just move to my other slides, how we can improve the resilient economies at the city level. There are 4 main areas we can talk about: governance, society, environment, and economy. When we talk about this governance, everybody know city need a leadership, good management, water, available land, other resources. Just you can't leave to different type of groups and the team. And through that one, you can have the proper urban transformation beneficial to the people and the other areas. And the consultation and the engagement of the public and private and the community, it is a good character of the governance. As you are well aware, in Sri Lanka, we have the duplicate governance structure and the cabinet ministers on that end, and the governors and the other end. But anyway, we have the treatises of the government, central government, the provincial government, and local government. Whatever the government and the way of they are governing resources and the institution will lead to will give some kind of influence to the city economy. And having necessary policies, programs, and action on time is also very, very important when we talk about the governance. When you move the environment, because I'm not going to, yeah.
Excuse, I would like to make some interruptions to you. So time is a bit exceeding.
Yeah, yes, this is the conclusion. Last slide, Mr. Janaka.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And just I'm going to say in the conclusion, cities are dynamic hubs that drive economic growth and play a crucial role, as I discussed. And their diverse economic infrastructure and concentration of talent make essential engine of regional and national prosperity. Effective evidence-based and urban policy programs initiative, special bylaws are necessary to ensure that cities can harness their full potential. And the last, I would say, for this economic growth and recovery to be sustainable, we need cities that can absorb, recover, and prepare for future economic shocks. Thank you for your attention. Sorry, just I exceed 2 minutes. Yeah, wish you a resilient future with confidence. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your insightful speech, Ms. Suri. Cities are full with a lot of opportunities. So our next speaker, Professor Hemanti Pranasinghe. Professor Hemanti, she's a senior professor in forestry and environmental science of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, and also the chairperson of academic and examination subcommittee of the IEPHL. Further, she has actively participated as a resource person in formulating of many national policies and programs in the areas of forestry, urban forestry, nationally determined contributions to the UNFCCC, carbon net zero to 2050, climate change adaptations and mitigation, etc. Professor Hemanti, she was one of our past president of IPSL. Professor, this is over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Janaka. Thank you very much, Planner Indu, for that very, very vivid and very wholesome presentation on the cities. So what I will do is just take a little bit further, because you talked about a city as an entity, its characteristics, and also its potential. So here I would like to, being an environmentalist, I would like to emphasize a little bit on the environmental potential of a city. So let me share my slides. Yes, everybody can see my slides.
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yes. I will not take much time, because time is also getting on. And in fact, I have only very little to say after this very, a very descriptive, wholesome presentation. So, I would like to say a city, is a living city, which is the broad vision for an attractive, healthy, and sustainable urban region where human settlement can flourish forever as part of nature's beauty and diversity. So we are part of nature, and a city will portray that. So as the previous speakers mentioned, components of a sustainable living city is three-pronged: economic sustainability, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability. But we have challenges which we need to overcome. Just some challenges like urban population growth. It's escalating. It's really, getting, the proportion of urban population is getting very, very high, especially due to this, the attractive opportunities that cities offer, urban sprawl, inadequate infrastructure, limited resources, conflicting interest among stakeholders, that is development versus conservation. There's a constant log hit between them, and environmental challenges as per this climate change, pollution, waste, health, etc. So some photographs of, some issues that we, all the cities, including our own cities, face, the congestion and the pollution, air pollution. We have experienced all of this, filling of lowlands leading to floods, water pollution, by industries, on this right, you could see the Kalni River polluted by the industries located on its banks, and also the other waterways which crosses the cities, and suboptimal waste management. And so there's a long list, so I need not dwell on that. But then what we need here, we have gathered here to talk about how to go forward, how to make our cities a living city. And the components of a sustainable city, as you could see in this picture, clean air, because it should be a green lung, so that the inhabitants, us, we could live freely, we could live happily. So it should be clean, the air should be clean, the rivers, the water bodies and wetlands should act as natural pollution filters, and the biodiversity is conserved, enhance green space and connectivity for urban dwellers, both humans, plants and animals, eco-housing, energy conservation and the use of renewable energies, sustainable, affordable transport, and waste management. So I'll just take you along few pictures to elaborate on what I said. So the cities, we say cities need to be smart, but smart doesn't mean high-tech. Smart is we really need to grasp the low-hanging fruits first, and then go to the high-tech ones. And here what you could see, that in smart city, we have a lot of greenery, so that the infiltrator, when the rain comes, it is absorbed much more, and the groundwater is replenished, so that we don't have an issue with water. Whereas the conventional cities, where there's a lot of houses, a lot of built-up areas, the infiltration is 15% compared to 50% in smart cities. Runoff is much more, 55% in conventional cities compared to only 10%, because most of the water is conserved, absorbed. And so therefore, we have less land clearing and grading cost, reduced infrastructure cost, protection of regional water quality, and reduced stormwater runoff, which are the main issues that we have. So if we plan our cities properly, based on our environmental perspectives, we could really be win-win. So just some examples, like the previous speaker said, we really need to get the examples around the world, because many have done a lot. So I'd just like to, showcase the Islamabad city here, where in the city, it's a really planned city, where it's in blocks. Every unit is a block where it is self-sustaining. So the housing is there, the shopping, transportation, you name it, you have it. Whatever you require for your living is in your block. So you need not cross the block, so that it reduces the urban sprawl, minimizes travel distances, and encourage active modes of transportation. So green spaces and biodiversity conservation is a key to a city. Integrating green spaces, parks, and natural habitats within cities enhance biodiversity, enhance connectivity of all species, not only us, but for animals, plants, and improves air quality and provides recreational spaces for inhabitants. And also, it ensures climate resilience, because most of the cities really now we just had a lot of rain recently in the country, and especially in the wet zone, and there's a lot of flooding. A lot of cities were affected. So most of these are because of our own bad decisions. So zoning to ensure land is put to its optimal and most appropriate use. Here you could see an example of Trincomalee, Hambantota being zoned, and you could say that here this is elephant conservation area is there, and these are the developable areas, and these are the paddy lands, and these are the forest lands. So every land use has its own place in a city, so that this can be avoided. Housing in low-lying areas leads to submergence, which we know, and so it is very important to plan the housing, the settlements where it will not be submerged, and ensure proper stormwater drainage. See that? And this is in a country where porous pavings had been used, and actually they had used flower beds. It's a really natural way of increasing the infiltration, not the concrete drains, but it's just more natural flower beds to use as drains. And also here, you could see that in car parks also, they encourage this kind of flower beds so that it is a win-win solution, but low cost. And here, porous pavements allows infiltration. Low-lying areas adjacent to roads absorb the runoff water. So it's not that they cannot do it, but they had resorted to the natural way, and it is a very good example for us. And here, the conserve the wetlands for ecological services and recreation, which we have done. We are really glad that we have few wetlands in the Colombo city itself, and it has become a World Heritage Site as well because of our wetlands. So this is ecotourism in natural areas, and what I showed is this DSRU Park here, where while giving the ecosystem services like the conserving the water and reducing the flooding, but it really gives education and change of attitudes of its inhabitants. And also renewable energies. I mean, here also in Colombo City, where many houses are having already solar panels, and also industries also are having solar panels. And also, I think the transport is the biggest issue in cities, especially in our country, and urban transport, because we could see on the left side, a lot of congestion, a lot of vehicles on the road, and even the public transport is, of poor quality. So actually, Indu mentioned about the policies. Yes, it is very important to take policies. We have already taken some, but the implementation needs to be enhanced. But we know we could resort to buses of good quality, because a bus will take about 40 seats, whereas a car will take only 2 seats usually. And a train will take about 1,000 seats. And so the road network need to be improved, but the comfort of the passengers should be ensured. And also here what you could see is the smart card, the Presto type of cards, so that the conductors are not required, and everybody needs to take these Presto cards to get into these vehicles. And also promote green buildings, green roofs, vegetation surroundings, the buildings. Actually, it's been found by research that 50% of the air conditioning cost is reduced by having greenery around your buildings. So this is a green building, and I don't want to go into detail in the interest of time, but here you're using these solar panels, the greenery around the house, then rainwater harvesting, which is being used for your toilets and for washing, and a lot of verandas, so that there would be a lot of airflow, so the air conditioning or cooling cost is much reduced. So it's been found that energy use could be reduced to 24% to 50%, carbon dioxide emissions from 33 to 39%, water use by 40%, and waste by 70%. So these are a few examples of green buildings, and at least it should cover 75% of the non-roof hardscape, including driveways, walkways, courtyards, parking areas, and these are green roofs. And some countries, it is a must in urban planning that you need to have a green roof because it really reduces the urban heat island effect. And these are the, this is actually an industry which use low-hanging environmental solutions like renewable energy. Its roof is full of these solar panels, and it maintains the greenery surrounding the industry and also water for cooling. And this is growing plants in urban development. This is called vertical planting. It should be encouraged. And here is the rainwater harvesting. Actually, water is very scarce, although we say that we get a lot of water, but it is a scarce commodity. So here, even in a posh urban house, there is a rainwater tank at the bottom so that it doesn't flow. And the water is being used in toilets and washing so that the water is effectively put to use. And here, the urban forestry or urban forestation, which creates urban forest and planting trees in urban areas, which could increase the carbon sequestration and improves air quality and provide shade and cooling. So there was a time, in fact, I would like to take a small example of me visiting Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, long time ago, about 20 years ago, and the Kuala Lumpur city was almost in a forest, a natural forest. It was so nice, and it was really a very exciting place to live. But after, the recent visits, I could not even see a single tree. And even if I saw, there was a lot of palm trees, the oil palm trees. So that's a transformation, which we have really pursued the economic pursuits without thinking about the environment. So waste management, I would like to, bring some examples from Canada, Toronto, because that was a very, very, very good example that I saw, where these three bins, the waste only, the organics, as well as the recyclable bins have been provided by the municipality. And so it's been collected at a rotation, like a weekly rotation, and at a cost. I mean, what the cities are really, hard pressed with money because it provides this free service. I mean, it should not, because even the residents should pay for waste management. Then a good service can be given. So these are like the opportunities that come from circular economy in urban areas. These are very common, this recycling of the plastic bottles, cans, and whatnot. And so the enabling environment for all this, public sector, private sector, NGO sector, citizens should meet together. And one sector can't work alone. And public sector policies and governance structures, in the mention many, but I would just like to take, name some: Urban Development Policy, Urban Development Act, and they have made development plans for every district. And in that, there's a bylaw saying 10% of each hectare should be left as public open recreational space. And across an entire urban area, 40% of the space should be allocated as a green lung. And every household should be within 500 meters of an arm of green network. And urban forest policy is also in the draft form now. So here, the private sector, NGOs and communities are a very integral part of a city, sustainable city. As you could see here, this private sector organization helping the municipality in cleaning its waterways by putting the strainers. Then tree planting is being done by school children and others, and roadside planting done by private sector again. And here we see many walking paths. So it's community needs it. Community would love to maintain it. So we should facilitate the users to be decision makers and implementers. And here, when there are the green clubs should be made in communities so that they will look after the environment. And for example, these trees should be managed by shopkeepers because that they really benefit from that. And citizen science is very important, getting citizens involved in this exercise. Collection of data and monitoring and enhancing the awareness of environment. So, like my colleague said, learn from each other around the world. We have a lot to give to the other countries, and other countries have a lot to give us. So it's a give and take to quest for a better future. So let's ensure the future of our leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your helpful the blended experience. There's a nice story, a nice lecture. So I would like to open that there are a lot of professionals, even foreign professionals, as well as students. Even though the day is not much good for the lecture because of Sri Lanka-Pakistan cricket match, there's a good gathering still with us. So I would like to open this forum to you all to raise your questions and get further clarifications and share your ideas. Or that I would like to open this forum to all our audience. So while you are preparing for any question, I would like to raise one particular question for our elegant panelists. My question is how natural ecosystem in the cities such as urban wetlands can use in urban planning to make the city financially sustainable. This question is open for both of you, Professor and Ms. Veerasuri.
Janaka, I would like to say a little bit about it because I mentioned that in my presentation also. As we could see that wetlands are an integral part of a city, and because it provides a lot of ecosystem services, it harbors biodiversity, it provides flood control, water retention, and also pollution control because it has the ability to filter the pollutants also to a certain extent from the waters. And in addition to that, it is a very beautiful place to be with and to spend time. So therefore, ecotourism aspects have been developed, could be developed much more in our cities. So, for example, we have in Colombo, Diasaru Park and Badegana wetlands, and some more wetlands being developed by the UDA. And we can get some finances from, opening it to visitors, as well as, enjoy the ecosystem services it provides.
Thank you very much, Professor. Ms. Veerasuri, do you have any comments to add?
Yeah. I would like to add another 2 points because Professor already covered the most of the area. And especially we can use for tourism. And she mentioned about the tourism and the urban agriculture. When you take Colombo, and the Battaramulla, that area, we can see there are wetlands, and adjoining the wetlands, you can find a lot of barren marsh, and the marsh another area. And without harming, actually, we can use this land for urban agriculture. And Professor very clearly mentioned that how we can use and the urban the forest as well as the green. This green architecture you can integrate with the wetland at the educational and the research centers. Professor, I think this wetland we can use because in other countries it's very difficult because places like Fiji and the places like Thailand and each and every wetland you can find the research center and they can open for university students and the school and they can improve the revenue of particular local authority providing some kind of infrastructure. Partnership and the collaboration with the private sector. That's also through we can use wetland for different types of tasks. These are the 3 points I want to add, Mr. Janaka.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Any other clarifications you can raise? Either you can text it. So that I would like to get your attention to another essential direction related to the city life. There's one hand raised. So yes, you can ask your question, please. Mr. William In. Mr. William? Please ask your question.
Okay, thank you for this invitation that I got in, and I'm very interested. I'm a Singaporean, and then I heard the Sri Lankan government is working with Singapore. So I would like to know how was this trip to Singapore and how will help to collaborate from Singapore and Sri Lankan to get together with this program. That was what my interest question.
Thank you. Yep. Professor, do you have any?
No, I think Indu mentioned Singapore, no, as example, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Indu, you would like to elaborate on it?
Yeah, actually now also in the Institute of Town Planners and we are working with I represent the Commonwealth Association of Planners and now also we are working together and we are having some kind of collaborative effort. And I think nowadays, but now I'm not at the UDA, but if somebody from UDA, you can answer that one. Already, I think they are having recently also more than 40 people went to Singapore and to get some kind of experience over there. And they also can see the way of we are handling some kind of issue, especially urban forest and having the more greenery, that type of thing. I think, Mr. William, I can't exactly, I can give, can't give the what type of program we can do, but of course we can do the exchange program.
Looking forward to
Chandana
that.
give us a thought on this.
Yes, Mr. Tugala, please continue. Mr. Tugala? Mr. Tugala, any?
Yeah, then I think our UDA colleagues are there, Ms. Chandana Kalupana and I think persons like that. At the beginning of the year 2018 to 19, we had a good program with the collaboration with the Singapore government to have Berele cleanup project. I think it will generate again with this under this president's new president, and then it will begin. It might be progressing well in the future as the Berele cleanup program with the Singaporean government and the collaboration of the kind of organizations there. So that is from my side. But if our UDA colleague can give us their thoughts, it will be good, I think.
Mr. Kalupana, are you in position to add some comments? Thank you, Ms. Fabiola. Ms. Nadisha, raise your hand. You can.
Okay, good evening to all of you. And I think that Mr. William asked the question about the Singapore thing, because recently I got the chance to engage with the Urban Development Authority, because now currently I'm working for a City of JICA project in collaboration with the Urban Development Authority. And actually in the June, we got the chance to visit your country, Singapore. So I would very appreciate and very proud to say this in front of you as Singaporean with the collaboration of the Sri Lankan and Singapore, because once we got into that country, actually lots of things makes me mesmerizing, and really it gives us a really aspiration to think twice about the urban plan and urban design. Actually the green concept, how that can be incorporated to the urban development in a country, in a city like Singapore. And actually we had a good time there. We got able to we could able to make some connection in between the Urban Redevelopment Authority in your country. So that was a great and immense experience that we all had. And also we had the chance to visit your Punggol digital district. That is where you are having a very vast majority type of project in your country. And it's really appreciated the way you are doing your urban development in your country, because lots of things we can also integrate it into our urban development in Sri Lankan context. And one main thing I wanted to emphasize here, because in Singapore their planning is, most of the time they are telling that it is about integrated planning. So that is the thing actually we are lacking in Sri Lanka. So integration in between each and every sectors, environment, economy, social. At the moment that now we are talking about the World Habitat Day. So it's not only for the environmentalist responsibility at all, and it's not only for the town planners responsibility at all, because it's the responsibility of each and every citizen in a country, in the world. So I really appreciate this session, this webinar, and planner Indu madam and also other colleagues. You are done a really amazing job here, because you are conveying this message to the next generation, and I really appreciate the organizing team on behalf of this webinar. And thank you, William, Mr. William, for your question. I must say that that was my first ever experience for another country. So greatly I got the chance to visit Singapore, and you know, I got many aspirations from your country. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ms. Nadisha, I would like to know, are you a member of IEPSL?
I'm a member of ITPSL, Institute of Town Planner, Sri Lanka.
Okay, you have opportunity. You have another opportunity. Yes. So,
yeah.
Meantime, so that there's another particular topic related to this city economic development. The waste management is one of the particular area. So we are talking about these circular models, circular economy, and almost all cities are spending a lot of money for managing their waste. So I suppose Mr. Lal is still with us. Ms. Sankaja is also there. So Professor and Mr. Suri, so I suppose Ms. Veerasuri, you can add something related to these circular models based on cities. Professor?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of new, Indu mentioned about innovation is the key. There's a lot of innovative approaches which has been introduced to cities, and especially with circular economy. And I mentioned in my presentation about this, the recycling, the emphasis for recycling for the PET bottles, the polythene bags, etc., etc. And in fact, for the ease of it, there's a lot of it is not only a government initiative, but a private-public partnership, where at every expressways, the entrance of the expressways, there is this big containers where you could put the bottle. And there's always, and also I have seen in front of supermarkets, these had been placed, so that waste is a resource. And so if by doing that, we really can minimize the input cost, the raw material. And also there's policies which help that, and that means the banning the single-use plastics, so that, and also encouraging the non-plastic containers, like bags, the decomposable bags, which a lot of businesses have been, like startup businesses have started because of this, around these policies. So, and also not only that, but I just want to mention about this transportation. I showed you these transportation models, and here there's the carpooling has been introduced by many industries, so that there would be less vehicles on the road, and even the infrastructure, even the equipment can be rented. So all these novel approaches to reduce the raw material through circular economy has already commenced, and not only in cities but all over. But since the city is the major economic center, it started there.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lal Fernandez is there. Mr. Lal, can you add some?
Janaka, thank you very much for giving me a very the opportunity in a very important, webinar, just to share my experience and add some points. I think even if you come up with so many infrastructure and technology and everything, because I, being an ex-employee in the Central Environmental Authority, we have a lot of experience in providing infrastructure and various other equipment, facilities, all kind of things, in the waste management sector. But what I feel most important is the attitude of the people. When you compare with the situation like in developed countries, we have been to a lot of countries in the developed world, what we have seen is that apart from the infrastructure, facilities, technology, innovation, everything, what matters above all is the how the people think about, to keep the clean, to keep our environment clean. That is one of the fundamental things that I have seen, particularly in a country like Japan, where the attitudes actually towards the clean environment is practiced from preschool level. I have seen it. So I think even the lot of government agencies, the private sector, and a lot of agencies, they are trying to do that, the attitudinal change. But for a country like ours, I think even in the future, parallelly, it is important to keep in mind that attitude, programs, activities, and all kind of, things are very important to change the attitude of our generation. Thank you very much. Just few points to, as a person who has some kind of experience in the waste management sector. Thank you, Janaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fernando. So if you have any other questions, I can share couple of more minutes because almost we are reaching to 8:30. We're supposed to wind up this entire program within a 1 hour time. Already it has taken additional 20 more minutes. So are there any questions?
Can I steal 1 minute from you?
Sure.
I'm now in Hong Kong, not in Singapore, but the government here is supporting this. And then I'll just share with you, the next time any one of you come to Hong Kong, have a beer made from bread, which is a circular economy. I just share on the chat.
Sure, thanks. So, Mr. Harsha Gammampila. So, would you like to ask any question? Mr. Harsha?
Yes, hello. Actually, I'm from Canada, Toronto. I'm working as a planner. I just want to when I compare Sri Lanka with Canada, like Toronto, especially a very congested city as well. What I see is there are some, as previously mentioned, there are some regulations, rules, policies, as well as the culture and lifestyle also has to be integrated for long-term sustainable cities. One of recently what we implemented was zero use of plastics, especially in groceries and minimize using plastic bags and things like that. What I see when I compare it with Sri Lanka is that a lot of plastics being used, and given the economic status, it is understandable that there's no facilities and infrastructure to recycle these plastics, but there is pouring of like large amount of plastics, and to my personal experience, that is one of the main causes of flooding, blockages, and a lot of issues with within the city, and main source of pollution in the city as well. Is there any policies, any actions taken to minimize or ban? I heard that, I mean, there was some discussion about banning plastics. I don't know whether it's still there or what's the situation. Sorry if I don't know the current situation in Sri Lanka, but like I see only in news and stuff. But just if you can let us know that what's the long-term plan and short-term plans for minimize this use of plastics. Thank you.
Yeah, our panelists can add something. Also, Mr. Lal Fernando, Ms. Sankaja, both of you also can join.
I think, Mr. Lal can give a good, being as ex-CA. Can Mr. Lal answer that question?
Yes, I think, though I am not in CA right now, the little experience I have had with the CA, actually the CA being a regulatory authority, not only the CA, but some other agencies, but particularly I'm focusing on the activities or the actions taken by the CA. Particularly, we have banned as one of the initiative to reduce the generation of plastics. We have banned the production of thin polythene. In 2006, the minimum thickness was kept at 20 microns in 2006. Very recently, actually, the production of thin polythene or the silly bag or the shopping bag and grocery bag by polythene or the high density polythene is completely banned right now, as per the Gazette notification issued in 2017. And also there are some other regulations brought in by the CA to, with the aim of reducing the usage of the plastic, like completely the production of the wrappers or the food containers by polystyrene is completely banned. And also the burning of or setting fire to the polythene in open areas is completely banned to reduce the air pollution and various other, environmental pollution. And also very recently, from October 1st, as far as I can remember, the production, use and sale of SUP or the single-use plastics of certain type of single-use plastics like cutlery, then what do you call straws, then the yogurt, the spoon, and completely ban not only the production, sale and use. And also the CA has taken initiative to reduce the give a kind of a specification to the minimum size of the what do you call this sachet packet. Yes, in order to, I mean that the prime idea is to reduce the waste, the production of waste, actually generation of waste. Likewise, things are being right now moved. In addition to that, along with the Ministry of Environment and the CA, and with the support of various other agencies, they have developed a 10-year plan, which is called National NIP, National Plastic Implementation Plan. So that is right now in operation, as far as I know. Probably somebody in the CA will add, if I have not, I mean, that covered everything. So a lot of initiatives are right now being taken by the ministry, CA, and other related agencies. Thank you.
Janaka, I need to add a word here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the National Environmental Act is also being amended. And as you know, the extended producer responsibility will become a reality very soon. So manufacturers, brand owners will also have a responsibility towards managing the plastic waste that they generate. So that's another very important national step being taken by the Ministry of Environment and CEA.
Thank you, Mrs. Jasaratne. It's a very interesting part. So I suppose almost we are exceeding our timeline. So I would like to wind up that session with a brief summary, so that our elegant panelist, Ms. Veerasuri, has given a lot of facts and a lot of the experiences she has shared with us. So especially the most important thing is each and every city has a unique features. So how can we capitalize these unique features for our the wealth of our nation? And not only Sri Lanka, across the world, each and every city, they have their own way. So I suppose this is one of the best facts that she has elaborated. Instead of that, there are challenges they have, which she has explained so how can we go for new inventions, new entrepreneurships, and how can we go for a national and international level collaborations? I suppose all those facts are facts she has nicely described. So at the meantime, the Professor Hemanti, she has at certain new certain areas, especially what the new concepts, new ideas, how it really practice in the ground. And the most important thing is smart city. It doesn't make just only high tech. So beyond the technologies, that how can we manage our green concepts, and how can we manage our environment, and that also how can we sustain cities with a simple lifestyle or sustainable lifestyle, sustainable practices. I presume there are lots of ideas, lots of experience we were able to share within the last 1.5 hours time, and there are a lot of participants. So that even from the foreign countries. So I would like to appreciate the participation of all of you. At the meantime, that the contribution of both Professor Hemanti and Senior Town Planner Ms. Indu Veerasuri. Also, I would like to appreciate all assistance we had from our IPSL council members as well as membership. Special thanks for Mr. Trishan organizing this event and facilitate for us to conduct this session and promotion materials, etc. Thank you very much for you all. I would like to invite you all to align with us in our coming events. You can join with, you can visit our website. At the meantime, you can join with our next sessions, especially in coming days. We are organizing the environmental impact assessment training program. So it's really helpful for young officers, young environmentalists to explore their knowledge and their experiences. So you can join with us for all these programs. So I would like to appreciate again all your participation. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation.